Imagine this. The year is 1521. The sun rises over the glistening waters of the Philippine archipelago, but peace is nowhere to be found. On the shores of a small island, the ground shakes with the roar of battle. Swords clash, spears whistle through the air, war cries echo as warriors fight tooth and nail. And in the center of this chaos stands a man, tall, unyielding, and unafraid. His name? Lapu-Lapu. This is no ordinary battle. It is a fight for freedom, a clash of empires, and the spark that ignites a legacy to echo through the ages. But how did it come to this? How did an island chief dare to stand against one of the mightiest empires the world had ever seen? And why does his name still blaze like fire in the hearts of Filipinos today? It begins in March 1521. A fleet of 5 Spanish ships, led by the famed Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, reaches the Philippine shores. Magellan was not just an explorer. He was a man driven by ambition, seeking wealth, glory, and a route to the fabled Spice Islands. But his journey wasn't just about maps and trade. He came with another mission: conquest. Magellan sought to spread Spanish influence and Christianity to these far-flung islands. On the island of Cebu, Magellan was welcomed as a hero by Humabon, the ruler of the island. Hungry for power and protection, Humabon swore allegiance to Spain, converting himself and his people to Christianity. It seemed like the Spanish mission was going smoothly. But then came a name that shattered their illusion of control: Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu, the chief of Mactan Island, stood unyielding. He refused to kneel, refused to convert, refused to surrender what was his. The land, the people, the culture, these were not mere possessions to barter. They were sacred. No foreign king, no cross, no crown would ever take them away. Magellan was furious. Who dares defy the Spanish Empire? His pride demanded an answer, and his rage demanded action. So, he made a decision that would change history forever. He would make an example of Lapu-Lapu. April 27, 1521. The morning of reckoning. Magellan and 60 of his best armed soldiers set sail for Mactan, their armor gleaming in the sun, their muskets ready to fire. But as they approached the island, an unexpected challenge arose. The waters near Mactan were too shallow for their ships to dock. No matter. Magellan, brimming with confidence, ordered his men to wade through the knee-deep water. Heavy with armor and weapons, they trudged forward, believing their superior firepower would crush any resistance. But what they saw next stopped them in their tracks. On the shore stood more than 1,000 warriors. Armed with bamboo spears, bows, and swords, they waited in formation. And at their helm, towering like a force of nature, was Lapu-Lapu himself. The Spaniards pressed forward, but the terrain slowed them down. The battle began with a rain of poisoned arrows, followed by the ferocious charge of Lapu-Lapu's warriors. Magellan, a man who had crossed oceans and conquered lands, thought this would be another easy victory. But he underestimated the terrain, the numbers, the sheer ferocity of those fighting for their homeland. In the chaos of the clash, Magellan made a fatal mistake. He pushed too far into enemy lines, leaving himself exposed. A poisoned arrow struck his leg. Then Lapu-Lapu's warriors closed in. They fought with precision, their strikes fueled by rage and desperation. Magellan fell. The mighty explorer, the man who sought to circle the globe, lay dead on the sands of Mactan. The remaining Spanish soldiers fled, terrified and broken. What was meant to be a display of power turned into a humiliating defeat. But this battle wasn't just about killing an invader. For Lapu-Lapu, it was a declaration, a shout to the world that Filipinos would not be easily conquered. Lapu-Lapu's victory didn't just save Mactan, it ignited a fire, a legacy of resistance that still burns today. He is more than a hero. He is a symbol of defiance, a reminder that freedom is worth every sacrifice. And yet, the story leaves us with a question. What would you do when faced with impossible odds? When standing up for your freedom means risking everything? Lapu-Lapu's story challenges us all. It whispers, will you fight or will you kneel? And so the man who defied an empire became more than just a name. He became a legend, a symbol, a reminder that courage is eternal. This is the story of Lapu-Lapu. Will you remember it or will you let it fade?